I don't know anybody in Lake County in the state of Illinois that's gonna subsidize a $2,500 monthly payment for a townhouse to start. That's the 2-bedroom model, and then it goes up from there to 4 bedrooms. So, a lot of misinformation flew around fast, got everybody's undies in a bunch, and they came out against it. The club lives across the street. They're slowly creeping away and eating at those lots over there. They're building about 5 homes a year. There was the parcel on North Avenue. That kind of dried up a little bit. What we see and what we're hoping for is that corporate center to really start. We won't see anything on the front end. If we can get people in there now, when that TIF comes off in 2028, we get our share of the property taxes then. So,
How much did that come out to even as of now?
I have no idea. I don't even know. Margaret?
That corner of property that they're putting those townhouses on, that wasn't part of the original PUD when that was developed?
Over there?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, but it's outside the agreement of how they were gonna sell those homes. So it was townhomes, it was zoned for townhomes.
Yeah, because I was on planning and zoning when that
Right,
went
so
up.
it's how they're planning on selling and marketing those homes is what has
But
everybody.
they still have to stay with the PUD.
Yes, they stay within the confines of it. DJ?
I would say, if our voters have no problem differentiating between these two ballots, and one passes and one doesn't, can we then go for another referendum for the other half?
You could. You know, and that's, I lost that train of thought when Matt asked his question, but that's exactly right. If one passes and the other doesn't, and that's what I fear, yeah, all right, I like the fire department, you know, and it could also split the vote too. I like the fire department, I understand it, I can't give them all of it, but I'll give them one. Which one are they gonna get? You know, so they'll give us the lesser, they'll give us the one for the corporate side that's 35 instead of the 46. Probably, they'll look at the lesser number. And yeah, we'll go back. Depending on how bad we lose, will depend on how bad or how fast we go back. If it's a slam dunk, slap in the face, you're not gonna do it, then we're gonna sit tight and we're gonna make do for probably 3 years before we go back at it. It just doesn't make sense. You see departments going back every election. We can't do that. One question, maybe, why this election? Why would you do it on a primary? A lot of people coming out, can't you do it on one of those smaller elections? The problem with the smaller elections, the people up for election are our town officials in the village, in the district, and in the fire district, or the township and the fire district. We don't want to make it a political football for them. We want them on board to help pull it in. Anybody else?
State Bank of the Lakes on the south side, what's going in there?
I have no idea.
Where-
State Bank of the Lakes, huh?
Oh, there's a new building being built there,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
District 34 building.
I don't know.
Chief, so it's okay for us to say, to tell people, check their ballots twice?
Yep,
Okay.
I'd say,
Just-
We're not
I'm
voting.
done. I stand before people in uniform, I've done it, I did it to the people at the cow, said you need to check your ballot twice. You need this to get the kind of fire service, timely fire service, and to take care of your infrastructure and your equipment. You want us to do this, you wanna do this. This is a small investment. We're in this position because there was no foresight down the road. This is why a lot of departments are they're maxed out on their levies already, or close to it, they're at 0.35, 0.38, and they creep up, ours will creep up too over time. But we're so far behind the 8 ball, we just spent, what did we put in, $1.2 million last year into a savings account we had nothing for. We started with $50,000 in savings, the district took a loan to help fund us and keep us running and get Station 3 open, because they believed in the fact that we needed to get that timely service to the public. And because we didn't have good data then, and we told the public we didn't have good data, we were shooting from the hip. We took a guess. We could have went the last time and maxed out. There was discussions at that table numerous times when we instituted the the EMS tax of 0.25. Shouldn't we be going for the maximum? We can go for the maximum. But they didn't want to take the maximum. All the parties that were sitting at the table, village trustees, district trustees, fire district trustees. They didn't want to take that max because they weren't quite sure. They didn't think they could sell, they needed it. Now, I've given them the ammo to say, you need it. We can't go any further. Here's my budget. And I'll sit down with anybody here, anybody in any of our residents, show me where I can cut. Cause I can't. You tell me to cut pay? Hell no, that ain't gonna happen. You tell me, oh, maybe you don't need, so many vehicles. Well, we've already trimmed our vehicles down. And you just we got rid of a ladder truck. 20-year-old ladder truck, right? We didn't need it. Until they plopped handy foil in our backyard. Now we need a way to get to the roof. How long do you think Lake Villa and Bristol are gonna tolerate, their residents are gonna tolerate sending that over here? Not very long. So we have to guard against that. You okayed it, you built it, you let them come in, we were in the back row. Now I take every opportunity to be in that front seat, to sit in the front row, try to capture some of the information that's happening in the village and in the township. So, people wanna tell us our budget's thick, yeah, help me out. I'll listen to it, because I'll take it and sell it as my own if it sounds good. And then I'll be the smartest guy in the room. Anybody else got any questions?
Is it okay?
The tree in the back.
Is it okay to say that if this passes, this is the last time they're gonna see this?
You can't say that, if they both pass, by statute, we can't go any higher. And I can show you the statute if you want, we can go upstairs.
I was gonna say, can we include that on the trifold?
It is in the questions, it's such a big question, to put all that in, and it's very confusing, and I'll add that to the packet I leave out, so you can actually analyze the question. It talks about the increase and what that does. It says the maximum rate of 0.4. So we have to explain that. We can't, and you can say, this is as high as it can go, we
No,
can't ask
Chief,
for
he's
anything.
asking if you could put it in the little cheat sheet.
Right, it'll sit in for you guys, it'll
Yeah.
sit in a piece of paper like this, rather than shrunk down into a little PowerPoint slide. So you'll be able to read it, I can actually get it a little better. But to get it out to the people, to sit there and talk about it, we talked about a mailer, we're putting a super PAC together, there are people that already wanna donate to this, and we're working on getting ourselves an account and writing checks for signs and printing. That stuff we can't do with district money. But, again, I'm gonna take a leap and say, we have to tell them what they need. We have, we're saying check yes twice, because we're telling you to do that because we think you need this service and to fix this problem. And without us telling them yes, they can't really put it together. And we don't want them just checking it once.
So for signs and stuff, that's where you're looking for donations for and whatnot?
There's a whole slew of things that money goes
Well,
towards.
because I know like
My
last time,
salary,
obviously.
conventions in Hawaii.
No, but like last year, we just put all the signs up, we had some of the big 4x4s, we had a bunch of the small ones, that all comes through donation money?
That comes through donations, yeah. So you say, anybody wanna know who donates? Who do you think's got a vested interest in this?
Officials,
Some officials,
some.
some do,
How about 300 Main again?
300 Main.
303 Main? No?
Metro makes a big contribution to this. Who's got something to gain? Metro, the contract's gonna grow. We have one of the biggest contracts for Metro. We have the biggest contract in Lake County. So they're very interested. Who do you think pays for the booze at the awards dinner? Metro. They wanna keep you happy, they wanna keep us going, they like our model. I spent Monday night at dinner with the Metro executive staff, trying to figure out ways to build that system. Because that's the way it's gonna go. We see less and less traditional departments, less and less traditional jobs, because they can't afford to fund their pension obligation. So I'm taking this road. And there's people out there, residents, who say, yeah, I want it. I got emphysema. I don't wanna be waiting while you're over there. I believe in what you're saying. I see the numbers. So, there's individual residents that are willing, and maybe $50, maybe $20, but we take it, we put it, and we account for it. There's all kinds of legalities that we have to follow, to make that happen. And it takes an attorney, I'll tell you that right now. I don't do that. We have an attorney that will take care of that for us. He goes to jail, not me. Anybody else? Any concerns about it? How many people live in Antioch? Got a 600. How many believe in it, truly? How many are worried it's going to fail? And this is terrible for your, you can't afford it.
We can't afford that.
Can't afford the tax, or?
You have to remember, there's people who can't pay for medicine. There's people who own homes, they can't pay for their medicine. We may be asking them to make a choice. Do I take they got a $200,000 home in the manor, or not the manor, Oakwood Mills, wrong one.
Not over,
No?
no.
Well, hypothetically, okay? Your rates are gonna go up with a really good
I'll
fire
say my.
department. Or your, EAD. But 200,000, you're asking them to spend $160, they spend that on one medicine a month, and this is hard. This is a hard sell in a state that's gonna tax you every morning you wake up. They're trying to find a new way to tax you, and here we are with our hand out. We just gotta nudge our way to the front of the line. Brad?
Is the village against legal marijuana for like bringing in shops and dispensaries and everything?
Because that actually brings a lot of revenue.
Not to us.
Yeah.
Fellas,
No,
folks,
to
we're a fire district. We get nothing from sales tax, so marijuana is not gonna help.
What it's
people
gonna
here.
bring is more medical issues here. That's what it's gonna bring us as a fire district. We don't see any relief from sales tax. And to answer your question, they actually have a special meeting on the 23rd to address just that. So they haven't come to, they've talked about it, I know at some of the meetings, but they haven't come to any hard, fast conclusions. They're torn, they see the revenue. But when you look at that revenue, it's a little hyperinflated as to what they actually get when you bear down into the numbers and the percentages and how much, medical marijuana, or not even medical, but how much marijuana they have to sell and how much oil they have to sell to get their percentage. So you can go on the 23rd if you're off. Head on over there if you're interested. But, my concern with that is it's gonna drive more calls. Their concern, we're a border town. Illinois legalized it, there's some people going, no, nobody's gonna run across the border smoking their weed. They're not gonna take it home, they're gonna sit right here and everything will be cool, to go to Dunkin' Donuts. To get the munchies, go to Dunkin' Donuts, eat their way down off the high, and away you go. The concern is the gummy bears and the candies, the edibles. How do you differentiate between those? It's gonna be a problem.
Did they receive it well when you went to that meeting?
This-
150. whatever?
So I got a lot of, I didn't get any applause, but I wasn't shot either, so. You have to double this room, double the number of people in here and squish together. And I had to run a gauntlet to get out. And I got a lot of, hey chief, we understand, good job, nice talk. You explained it very well, thank you. I didn't hear any fuck you, you're raising my taxes. Which is okay with me as I scurried out the door. There was one guy who met me at the door and said, hey, can I talk to you outside a minute? He seemed like a nice guy, so. And then I text Chris Leonhardt from the trunk of this guy's car going, I'm in a blue Buick. Anybody else? Thank you again. If you have questions at any time, stop by, ask me. I'm more than willing to educate you. You did pretty good. An hour, sorry.
Oh, Jess would have been on time,
Sorry. Yeah. Darlene would have been here on time. Thank you again very much.